Hi Sayers, welcome back to my channel. As promised, we're going to have the part 2 of the fundamentals of campus journalism. But before that, I have a question to all of you. Are you still afraid of joining the campus journalism? Maybe you are missing an opportunity. Maybe half of your life or your life itself. You know, Hi Sayers, this is Simon for Simon Says PH. We'll be having the part 2 of the fundamentals of campus journalism. But let's have a recap first of what we've discussed on the first part of our video. We discussed there the fundamentals or the basic rules in writing, the do's and don'ts in writing. And I hope those things will help you jumpstart your career as a student journalist. Now, we'll be focusing on news, feature, editorial, and sports writing, including photojournalism and editorial cartooning. Just a disclaimer, the things that I will share with all of you right now are still just the tip of the iceberg. It entails effort on your part to read and to expose yourselves to more opportunities to learn the concepts, the theories, and above all, you should apply the things that you will learn here because without application, just like in studying, concepts will just remain concepts. Application is very important. So let's start. We'll be focusing on news, feature, editorial, and sports writing, including photojournalism and editorial cartooning. Let's start with this one. News. A factual account of a timely event that is of public interest or anything you did not know yesterday. So this refers to the things that we usually read or watch to update ourselves of what is happening around us. And it also has ABC. It stands for accuracy, brevity, and clarity. Accuracy meaning, as the name implies, news, it should be accurate because you are presenting facts. Then brevity, you should go straight to the point. You're not supposed to use flowery words here, and you're just going to present what you are supposed to present. Then clarity, you should be able to send the message to your readers as clear as possible so you will not be causing confusion or misunderstandings later on. Okay, what are the questions to ask when you're writing a news article? Is it balanced? This is crucial because when you're covering, you should be able to ask both sides. You should not favor one side because this is what you believe in. Always remember that you're no longer representing yourself, but you are representing the campus journalism organization where you are affiliated to. Now, another question is it fair? For you to be fair, you should not involve your emotional attachment there or your personal opinion about the issue at hand. Then another question is it objective? You should be able to present facts objectively. You should be able to differentiate opinions from facts. So what your opinions there about the topic don't matter at all. So you're just going to present facts regarding the news or the topic at hand. Okay, now news writing. What should you remember in writing this one? Number one, always write in active voice. Use passive voice only if the object of the sentence is more prominent or newsworthy than the subject. Then, number two, do not begin news stories with quotes because you are presenting facts here in straight news. This one is not a descriptive essay or other types of articles. This one is supposed to be presented as straight as possible. Then number three, use interest-arousing words. Avoid using articles, a and the, because that will just make your article or that will just make your work lengthy. Okay. Then rule of thumb, vocabulary of grade 6 students. So it will be better if you're going to use vocabulary that is easy to understand and um, easy to understand and comprehend for everybody not to have a hard time reading your article and decoding the message you have there in that particular article. Okay, now let's have the next one. This is feature story. Aims to humanize, to add color, to educate, to entertain, to illuminate, and is believed to be more creative in orientation. Now, it is presented this way: first news, now followed by feature, to differentiate the two. Because as I said, in news writing, you're supposed to present facts as straight as possible. This one is more on the creative part, to the creative part. Unlike news stories, feature stories are sometimes encouraged to deviate from five wives and one husband in writing the lead. So this one has deviations. And in writing this one, you should remember that it also follows the structure of lead, body, conclusion. But what is the difference? Let's see. Start with the premise or theme of the article. Establish a tone. It's almost the same, but this one is a feature article. On the body, you present information, opinions, and analysis that back your point. How about the conclusion? Leave an impression by using a comment, a quote, a question, or a summary of the article. So this one, you have, shall we say, more freedom to have wordplay in writing this type of article. How to catch the reader's attention? Yes, your goal there is to catch the attention of your readers. Ask a question that will tickle their minds, a question that will leave an impression. Then share an anecdote, um, maybe an account of somebody's life or an experience. Then make an unusual statement. Make an unusual statement. Present an alarming statistics or describe a scene. So meaning the main goal here is to really get the attention of the reader. And one best way there is to do an unusual or uncommon thing. So let's have the editorial or editorial writing. It is a journalistic piece that presents a publication side or stance on a certain issue, a persuasive essay that contributes to the discourse of a pressing problem. You know, when you're writing an editorial or an editorial article, you should be able to have this discourse or an attempt to make your readers believe that you are an authority to this particular topic. You are trying to cause a debate that your side should be the side that people should believe, and your side is the more righteous one. So that is editorial itself or editorial writing. Qualities of an editorial piece: persuasiveness. You are trying to persuade people to believe on what you are presenting. Then discourse, just like what I discussed earlier. Discourse, you are trying to cause there a debate. You're challenging the status quo. You're challenging the present condition or the present situation. Then logic, critic, then brevity. All of those you will be able to achieve when you are able to present a discourse. Now, tips and standards in editorial writing. Number one, editorial pieces must only be around 250 to 500 words. You know, this rule is also dependent on the judge if you're going to join a contest, on the preference of the judge. No matter how the organizers would like to make the competition to be objective, it becomes subjective the moment the judge tells about his reference, about his preference, I mean. Because, you know, every time we join a competition, a journalism competition, there is a seminar before or workshop before the competition proper, the contest proper, and there the the judge informs the contestants or the participants regarding his preference or his writing style. So the tendency there is the participants would also research, do some research with regards to to the um, judge's writing skills, writing techniques, and his writing works. So that becomes for me subjective. That has been also my observation since I first handled the campus journalism. Then number two, paragraphs must follow a specific pattern or style. You should be um, consistent when you use this pattern or this style. It should be used throughout the article because judges will be able to notice that you should be consistent. Then first person plural voice we are is encouraged because you are representing there the stand of your campus journalism. So we are okay. Then the goal is to create a discourse, avoid emotional rhetoric, just like when you are um, just like what I said from the previous slide. Discourse is very important to tickle the mind of the readers. So you are provoking them to take sides. You are provoking them to take sides, to take um, to state or express their own opinion about the issue. That is your goal there. Avoid emotional rhetoric, and emotional rhetoric will what they call this spoil your attempt to have a discourse there. Number five, statements should be backed up with facts. Statements should be backed up with facts. Avoid generalizing. Yes, you're supposed to create a scene there. You're supposed to create a discourse there, but do not forget to support your statements with facts. You're not just going to show off there. You're not just going to state there everything you want. You're supposed to back it up with facts, and that will make your statements, that will make your discourse even stronger. Okay. Now, let's have sports writing. It must answer the question, so what? You know, sports writing is about action. It's about action. And maybe this you are also doing this when you're a sports fan and you're going to read a sports article on a newspaper. You're just going to look at the back or the last page of or of the newspaper because it's usually there. You can see the sports news or the sports article, right? And you're just going to usually read who won in that particular sports events or and what how um, how many points was the lead of the winning team, right? So that must answer the question. So what is the purpose of you writing for that particular article or for that particular event? You know, when you're a sports writer and you're covering events, you should be able to um, able to establish the relevance of that article because of the numerous sports events or sporting events. Readers may not be able to get the point of view covering that particular event. Why? Because they're alien to that particular event. They are not really familiar with the rules. So you should be able to have a good angle for your readers to continue reading your article. Okay. Now, it also follows that structure, lead, body, conclusion. What is the difference then? Let us have this meaning. The definition must focus on who won and who lost, and the common five wives and one husband. Who won? We are usually after um, with knowing who won and who lost, right? Then the body usually start from the end to the beginning or the most impactful part of the story. Decisive run, game winner, or strong start, or the key player, the star player. right, usually do that to feature or to highlight parts of the game, most especially if the game is taking too long, right? What changes the game? What make the situation turn around, right? Okay, then the conclusion interview with players may be used. We also do that when you also see that when there is a live game coverage, right? Right after the game, the key players will be interviewed. That could be part of your article. Now, what is the difference between you covering the event live and you covering the event when you are not there in in the venue itself? Let's have this one. Focus may be put on championships, records, team rivalries, or exceptional team stories. Let's answer my question. Let's have rivalries there. One of the biggest rivalries we have here in the Philippines is the UAP games between Ateneo and LaSalle. Now, what is the difference there? If you're just going to watch the game on TV, you will not be able to see the reactions of the audience. Yes, you will be able to see it based on the camera shots. But if you are present in the venue itself, you will be able to really hear every part of the the venue. You will be able to ask their reactions or the opinions of the fans there. You will be able to include them also on your in your article. That is the importance there of watching the game live right there in the venue. Now, exceptional team stories. If you are really following this team, you'll be able to have that exceptional team stories from zero to hero. That could be one angle there. From underdog to um, the crowd favorite now, right? You may focus on those things. Okay. Now, sports writing is all about the action, and so its writing should be all about action. Sports, we um, we really are after for actions, for the actions it gives to us. So we should be able to capture the action there. The most important words from both the headline and the lead must be verbs. So action, then verbs. You should be able to present the actions there properly by creating your headline and lead appealing by presenting actions um, in the event and to be presented in your article. So let's have the next one. Photojournalism has a story of public interest which photography doesn't have. You may have many pictures of yourself and you don't care about the stories behind those pictures. You just have maybe you just want to have a collection of your pictures. And as a photojournalist, the difference there is in every picture you take, a story is present. Huh? Okay. Then, by taking pictures, you also have to take note of this rule. Rule of thirds is applied by aligning a subject with the guidelines and their intersection points, placing the horizon on the top or bottom line. This could be easily done when your camera or your phone has grid. So you'll be able to follow the rule of thirds. Photojournalism is very important because among all the writers that we have, photojournalist serves as one of the front liners because writers may cover the event um, without his or her presence in the venue itself or in the scene. Maybe that author or that writer will be able to gather information by interviewing, by looking at the records when it is a crime, records of the police or the investigators. And the one good source of information also is the photos taken by the photojournalist, because you will be able to see there what really happened. Photojournalists um, really shows effort whenever they cover. Why? Because they must have good shots right where the particular event took place. Um, the more it's raw, the more photojournalists um, like the photos. The more it's raw. Now, let's have the elements of photojournalism. Timeliness, yes. Raw, meaning as things happen, the photojournalist would like to really take pictures as it happens. Now, objectivity and the narrative. It's very important that your story, that your photos have story or angles. You don't just take pictures. You take pictures with angles. One tip also, as a photojournalist or when you're just starting as a photojournalist, you um, you don't erase or delete pictures um, on your camera itself. You may connect it to your laptop or to your computer, and then there you can check your pictures. Why? Because there are times that because of us hurrying, because of us cramming, will also be able to delete some of the pictures that we actually need for that particular event. So just tip, you erase or delete your pictures by connecting your device to laptop or your desktop. Okay. Let's have the last one, the editorial cartoon. Tells a story through an illustration, provokes thoughts among readers, also known as political cartoon, for it shows economic reality of the society. Editorial cartoon is one of the attractions of a newspaper because it reflects the reality of the society, or it reflects also the reality of the campus, most especially if the campus paper is detached from being influenced or managed by the administration. Usually that happens in college or tertiary level organizations. Because of that freedom, they may also talk about issues that concern the campus, the school, the students, and there they can express themselves freely. Then, parts of an editorial cartooning, thesis statement, metaphors, labels as little as possible. Parts of an editorial cartooning, there must be a statement. When you say statement there, it is presented through an illustration, meaning you are trying to raise awareness there. You're not just going to draw, you're not just going to illustrate, but you're going to illustrate to raise awareness. Then metaphors, you use symbols there, symbols that will make your readers, that will make people think about the meaning of those symbols. Then labels as little as possible, because if you're just going to put many labels there, then what's the purpose of your cartoon? So it's like you are sending us the message that you're unable to reach your goal to send your message through your cartoon. That's why you put there so many labels to prevent that. Okay. Now let's have more about editorial cartoon. May contain 3 to 4 elements, but must focus on only one element, like current events or prominent personalities. Usually, the personalities there are political, and they sometimes become satirical to present your idea, to present your side, to present your stand there. Um, you will use figures to easily um, tickle the mind of your readers. Then elements of editorial cartooning. Symbol is very important. Exaggeration. You're making your cartoon bigger than life. Then irony. You are trying to make an irony of the reality through your cartoon. Because cartoon is like um, your self-made character. Though it is you are also allowed to use a prominent figure, but we should also have the disclaimer that we are not we are not really using this real life character, because there is this separation of imagination and reality. We could always say that if people react on our work, we could always say that, oh, it's just a result or a product of my creativity, and no one should question your creativity. Labeling and analogy. That has been the part two of the campus journalism, and I really hope that will be able you will be able to bring out the journalist within you. Let me end this with this quotation. We are all work in progress. We will only grow if we allow ourselves to be taught. That's according to King Monsi, someone that I know. That's someone that is very dear to me. And explore, enjoy, educate, empower. That's what Simon says. How about you? What would you like to say? Don't forget to subscribe and leave a comment down below for content suggestion or for possible shout out. Let's call it a day. Thank you. See you on my next vlog. Bye bye.